Hey everybody, Daryl Davey here in with Oaken Hollow Games in the game room, and I'm here for a weekly update. I try to do these on the weekends, and I know that 9:45 on a Monday morning is probably not the best time for one of these updates for people that view it live, but it's the time I have. Also, I've got a bit of a head cold going on, so pardon my stuffy nose. But all that put aside, I wanted to update everybody on some of the things that have been coming through for Skirmish in particular. So, just got back from one of the print shops in town here, and I have all of the Skirmish books printed and ready. They are looking very nice. So we have nice visual aids. For all of the fighters. I was trying to get them on 2 pages, and it just wasn't quite possible with some of the examples. So the Necromancer and the Bard did get pushed back a little bit farther, but for the most part, everything is nice and succinct on those pages there. Also, for those of you who responded on our group, and I could remember, I do have a playtesting thank you there. So if you've playtested, make sure you grab a copy for yourself here, and you're in our to see your name in the rule books. So that's there for you for anybody who tested. Like I said, if you were able to get back to me on the group, or if you were, pardon me, or if I remembered that you had playtest, you got on that list. So thank you so much for helping it get to where it is. That is huge. As far as printing goes, this bag is the start of 30 copies is what will be available to begin with. So as I print things out, all of those components go into a bag that kind of helps me keep track. I know I have 30 bags. I'm making 30 boxes, so if they're all filled, that means I'm all done. I don't know if maybe I printed one too many of my dice for testing or what, but I just missed. All the misspelling are still there, I am sure. Hey, Cassandra. Hey, Phil. Yeah, probably. Misspellings is rife with that. Thanks for tuning in. Kind of a random time, but I'm glad that you're here. But getting back to what I was saying, the white or clear resin, I ran out on the very last set of prints. So I have, I think, 25 in here. I have to order some white resin, and then I'll be able to finish that off. I am also just finishing off a few of our barriers. There was some trouble with printing where, like, every third print, some of the barriers would fall off, and I'd have to, hey, Sherry, I would have to scrape and clean those, so I still have a few more of those, but other than that, I don't need to get those done until I get the white ones done. I want to just at least get the bags I have working. And next up is going to be printing out the actual fighter miniatures. I do have to go back in and check their files again. I did a test print. I'm trying on my end to leave as few support structures, so as they print, a big bar comes down and glop, 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 and it sends light up from the top, and it makes these support bars for anything that's too far out that doesn't have something to like build off of as it's building. And the more of those supports that I have on there, the more I have to take off after. And the supports aren't necessarily the problem, but they're called a raft. The piece that the support stays on to begin with goes around the circle of the bottom of the fighter, and it gets to be a really big pain in the butt to trim those and make the cuts look nice, especially when I'm doing so many. So 20 a box times 30, it's quite a few to do. So I might have to run through a few prints on those. It's like a 3.5 hour print alone per set, and I have to do 2 sets per box. I have 2 printers, so hopefully it'll, go fast enough, but I'm on the biggest chunk of time that's going to be coming up for printing. So that's everything else, though, went a lot faster than I had assumed. It was really manageable. It was really nice. Like I said, had I not lost, just happened to run out of that white resin on the very, very last one. We would have been all set through that. And then, like I said, the fighters are coming out next. Yeah, but I have to make sure that the bases aren't getting too mauled up by those rafts as they form. So I'm going to look into my program a little bit on that and see what I can do. And I also have holes in the bottom where if once you purchase a copy, you can get the rare earth magnets in both the bases and the fighters. So you can put these little 2mm with magnets in there, and it'll schmuck, and it'll be able to magnetize right to the base, which will be really nice. It's not something I'm going to personally do for production. It would cost too much and take too much time, but I wanted that available for people who wanted that quality of life upgrade. They can choose to do it on their own time. But that being said, I want to make sure that the hole sizes are right for the magnets. They have been. My last print, because of the rafts, I had to put things down a little bit, and I lost some space so they wouldn't sit in there flush. So, not back to the drawing board, but I do have a little bit of time on the computer today where I need to make sure my files are good and see if there's not what else I can do to finish those up. Moving on, this is a finished box, which is very exciting. This is probably my favorite part, is to actually see it finally come together in a cohesive little unit. I did, and I might have to call Uline, this box that I have and I've had for All Hallows Eve, I specifically went through Uline because they're a company that's going to have the same materials in stock all the time. I ran into the problem I was afraid of with my old All Hallows Eve box, the 12 by 6 or whatever it was, where the company stopped making them. And so I had to redo all of my graphics for it. I had to find a new box. It was all kind of last minute, and it was a pain, and it was kind of scary because to fit everything inside of something, you needed a lot of different factors need to change. We managed. I prefer the smaller box now. I'm glad that we made the switch over, but those were 8.5 by 8.5, and then as I was ordering these boxes from Uline, I saw an 8 by 8 by 3, so 8 by 8, 3 depth, and I got a gut feeling, ran home, measured it, and it was shy. These are, I want to say, about 8.5 by 8.5, and I did not see that on the Uline, so I'm a little disappointed that I had got into something assuming that the same product would be available the whole time, and now is not. That said, I'll have to check for All Hallows Eve if that half an inch is going to make a big difference. The rule books do not fit as nicely in the box. They have a little bit of a bend. Not the end of the world, not enough to stop anything from happening, but enough to make me disappointed. And then the stickers that I print out to put on the box for this part are exactly what I need now. So if there's any sort of mistake or any too big of an overhang, you're going to be losing some of this. So for now, I'm going to go with it because I ordered 50 boxes thinking they were the right size. I cannot find the other one. I'm going to have to just call them up. But I'm going to have to double check once these ones are out next time to make sure I'm getting either the right size ones, or we have that conversation with Uline and say, hey, I need this certain size. You had it, you don't. Is that something that's going to be in stock, so on and so forth. We got fortunate. Again, the only skirmish could probably even be in a smaller box. There's just not one that's going to also fit the rule book where it's readable and it's not an odd size. If the box is smaller, that saves me on cost and size there, but then it increases the price for the rule books because they have to be made a special size. So, and also having games that are all roughly the same size, they all sit on a shelf nice together, they all look good together as a company, it's kind of cohesive, so that's nice as well. And at a glance, these are not noticeably smaller. Side by side, they're just a little tiny bit smaller, and I'm hoping everything's going to work. So I'm going to keep graphics and everything the same way unless I run into a big problem. But I'm waiting on the print shop to order in more sticker paper. And then they usually work pretty fast once they get that. And dice are on their way. Playmats are on their way. The folding boards. And I think that's about it. I think, and then once I'm finished printing, I do have 2 weeks coming up where I'm not going to be able to print at all. I'm gone at a summer camp, the Autism summer camp. I'm teaching kids gaming and playing and DMing for them, and kind of a cabin specialist. So there's 2 weeks out. So I really have to buckle down this week to get as much as I can done, because, drum roll, Skirmish should be available early July. That is my goal, is by the second week of July to have it out and available, if not sooner. The big reason, besides having wanted it out forever anyways, is that I had found my old Facebook group, Archers, Mages, Thieves, which was the original Skirmish. And it is the 10-year anniversary this July from when I initially set up that group and started working on Skirmish. So I wouldn't say I've been working on Skirmish for 10 years, because I had gotten to about that point 10 years ago, and it was pre-3D printer, it was pre-me knowing exactly what I'm doing, and then I dove headfirst for the next 5-6 years into making All Hallows Eve and getting that out and produced. And then the last year and a half, roughly, dusting off Skirmish and 1,000 other little games and getting them going. So not quite 10 years working on it in total, but a 10-year journey, and I think that is more than fitting as a release date. I'm going to see if I can find the exact date that I started. And it could have been before I started the group, but I think that's probably a good, I think a month or so beforehand. But it's really, really neat, serendipitous, if you will, that it's been 10 years to the day that I started truly looking at making games for people rather than just my friends. In that 10 years from then, I'll be releasing the game I had first started working on. And having already released one and having a handful of other things coming out as well. So it's really neat. I really like it quite a bit. So expect July. There's only 30 copies to start. This is overall a much faster game to produce. So if I see that these ones get gobbled up quick, I can start working on the next batch really soon. And we'll hopefully have all the bugs worked out by that point. So if you don't get this first 30, don't worry. We will be doing another one. I just have to kind of check on production levels of other things. If I want to get Graveyard Smash and stuff out as well by fall, I have to kind of fit that into the print time. But that being said, pretty excited. There are, for those of you who are still looking to get something from us, I do have copies of All Hallows Eve available. Gameplay Stay also still has stuff if you want to go to their website and order online. They have a few copies of everything available, or order through me. What's nice about, if you buy the games, all of the proceeds go straight back into making more games, which makes me be able to get other games out faster, because I'm able to, just pop all the money in, buy all the parts, get them back out. So if you want to help support and you want to get Skirmish launched, ironically, buying All Hallows Eve will help get Skirmish out even sooner, especially that second wave of it. So if you want to start up your Oak and Hollow games library, you can start with All Hallows Eve, and Skirmish will be right around the corner. And I think that is about it. For today. I kind of rambled a little bit, but I had a lot of fun, exciting things to share, so I wanted to make sure I got those all out for everybody. Hopefully my nasally nose isn't too bad for you guys to understand or hear. I will update through, I'd say update throughout the week. This weekend I'm not going to be able to do the update. I will be, again, the next 2 weeks I'm out, so it'll be pretty quiet on the Western Front, besides maybe if I'm playing games with kids at camp. So you get a little bit of break from me, which is probably a good thing for some folks. But either way, I hope you all have an excellent week. I will keep you as updated as I can on Skirmish. And again, early July is when I'm hoping to get this out. I will make an announcement on an official first day of sales. And we'll go from there. So, thank you so much for watching. See you later.